out here representing, man. I gotta say, it's been a couple of good years for us Asians. Right? Yeah. We had Crazy Rich Asians last year. That was a huge moment for us. Yeah. Jeremy Lin won a championship for doing nothing. He's the first Asian kid to receive a participation trophy. We gotta be proud of him. Finally. It's great couple of years, man. But this is recent history. I don't know if you guys remember this. Just 3 years ago, there was a movie called The Great Wall, starring Matt Damon. It was a real movie. It was Matt Damon in ancient China fighting dragons and shit, and everybody spoke English. It's like, what the fuck is this? But you gotta understand, I'm not mad at Matt Damon, okay? He's an actor. That's what he does for a living. That's how he gets a check. I get it. If somebody would have offered me a lead role in a movie called Mount Rushmore, I would play the shit out of George Washington, you know what I mean? Yeah. No shame in my game. I'll play George Washington Carver if they let me. That's a black guy, by the way, I don't know. Gotta represent, man. I see a lot of people out here in the streets, they want to come up to me, but they're not really sure. There's a lot of debate amongst their friends. They're like, hey man, are you sure that's him? If we go up there, we gotta be sure, because if we go up there and it's not him, we're gonna look super racist. Are you sure that's not Ken Jeong? I don't know, looks kind of like Ali Wong, I don't know. And they come up to me, it's always like the first thing they say, like, hey man, aren't you that dude Jian-Yang from that show Silicon Valley? And I was like, thanks. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I am. And then they're like, oh shit, I didn't even know you speak English in real life. Like, it's called acting, motherfucker. Like, did you really think Matt Damon was Chinese? Like, what's wrong with you? I don't know what the disconnect is. Like, if a white actor does a British accent, he's a thespian. He wins an Oscar. If I do a Chinese accent, I'm automatically from the old country. Representation matters, man. A lot of Asian people come up to me, very proud, very nice. They're like, Jimmy, thank you for representing the Asians, man. I'm like, hey, you're welcome. But you do understand it's not really a choice, right? Like, when you wake up Asian, you can only represent Asians. I couldn't just wake up one day and be like, fuck it, I'm representing Nigerians today. I'm very proud to represent Asians, but at the same time, there's so much pressure. Like, nobody ever went up to Matt Damon and be like, hey, Matt, thanks for representing the whites. Sounds weird. That's like a different conversation for some reason, you know? If somebody came up to me and be like, hey, Jimmy, I'm representing for the whites, I would leave that town immediately and never come back. So much pressure to represent. I gotta be a good Asian everywhere now. I gotta tip everywhere I go. That was one of the major advantages of being Asian, is I can just pretend I don't know how to tip. Y'all know what a Chinese tip is? Chinese tip, it doesn't matter how big your bill is, you tip $2. That's a Chinese tip, man. Now I gotta tip 20% everywhere. I gotta give every Uber driver a 5-star rating just so I can be a good representative. Everywhere I go, I gotta represent. Even day-to-day shit. Even the bedroom, I gotta represent. After I hooked up with this one girl, this is what she said to me. She was like, Jimmy, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're the first Asian guy I've ever been with. I'm like, okay. What do you want, a fortune cookie? Like, what do you want? She acted like she just unlocked a new character on Street Fighter or some shit. Why do you feel the need to say that? This one girl said this shit that was so disrespectful. This is what she said to me after we hooked up. She was like, Jimmy, I'm just glad the stereotype's not true. you don't have a small penis. And I'm like, bitch, you understand? You just insulted my entire race of people. But thank you. First of all, thank you for thinking that I did have a small penis and we still had sex. You're the real MVP. You get 2 fortune cookies tonight, miss. Thank you. But that's a fucked up stereotype, right? That's not even true. That's a fucked up stereotype. Everybody should have average dick until proven guilty. I don't care how tall you are, what ethnicity you are, how big your hands are. Everybody should start at average dick. 8 inches. And we go from there. There's so much pressure, man. Now I feel like every time I have sex, there's a billion Chinese people on my back just judging me. I gotta make sure I perform and represent, you know? I gotta get him an extra pump for my uncle in Shanghai, an extra pump for my nephew in Hong Kong and shit. It's like, oh my God. That's why you see old Asian people, they be walking like this, just like, it's so much pressure. I love old Asian people, man. Yeah. Old Asian people are the best. But why are all old Asian people always stretching in the park? Like, it doesn't matter which city and which park you go to. You wake up 6:30 in the morning. You see about 250 old Asian people all doing this shit at the same time. For like 3 hours. Like, what the fuck are they doing? And my dad was trying to explain to me, he's like, oh, they're warming up to do Tai Chi. I'm like, for how long? And ironically, Tai Chi is a warm-up in itself. So they're warming up to warm up for nothing. And I think to a lot of Americans, like people think that Tai Chi is some like exotic Chinese secret, some oriental art. No, Tai Chi is just exercise for people who are too old to exercise. Let's not exoticize these things, you know? It's actually super simple to do Tai Chi. I went to the park, watched those old people for like an hour, and I learned how to do Tai Chi. Very simple. All you gotta do is 2 things. All you gotta do to do Tai Chi is pretend you're wiping down a window and getting a blowjob at the same time. You guys seem skeptical. Allow me to demonstrate. Very simple. All you gotta do, you get in your little stance, right? Okay? And then you wipe down a window, and now you get a blowjob. And then you lift her head up because you're a gentleman, you know? That's Tai Chi.